good morning, sports fans. You can see we're on the road, but this is the actual closing clip for the Concept Z Performance Lower Radiator Hardpipe upgrade that we did yesterday. Also, as part of that upgrade, since all the coolant had to come out, we didn't drain it. There is a drain plug. We just disconnected because we were removing the silicone, Concept Z Performance silicone lower radiator hose that we had on the car. Really liked it, but however, we bought this hard pipe a few months ago. The selling point from Concept Z is that if you're going to do endurance racing or even driving, high-speed driving on like a track like Hallett, which I would love to do in this car, the Z32 twin turbo platform has a history of collapsing the lower radiator hose. I've never experienced it because I've done high-speed touring, like enduro type driving. I did do track day, but those were 6 20-minute sessions. They weren't like, continuous high-speed driving. And anyway, so that's a bad thing. If that lower hose collapses, then of course your coolant's being restricted, your motor's going to overheat, it's going to be unhappy. So that is the idea behind it. I just wanted it because it's just one more mod that we can do to the Z to ensure that we don't ever have that problem. And so if the pipe, the aluminum hard pipe exists and they engineered it to fit, why not put it in? And so we did. It was there's clips for it you probably already watched. If you haven't, watch those before you hear me kind of summarize how it went. But there's, it went in fairly straightforward. We had to figure out how to situate the couplers because, especially on the upright piece, meaning the bend that goes up, and then a coupler goes to the lower engine water coolant pipe that comes out of the engine, so water goes in the top pipe and then comes out back down into the radiator. But anyway, you have to kind of adjust those, so you kind of force the one upper coupler kind of up through the opening that it has, which is not much. If you know a Z32, there's not much room for anything, but it will fit. We did it. We had to take it up and down a few times to adjust that coupler, the upper coupler, to make sure that we had the right angle on it so that it was not being flattened on one side. Because if you just put it on and push it up and tighten it onto the pipe, you're not going to get what you want. You're going to be slightly torquing the coupler, and it's going to flatten. So we did that accidentally. Thought we had it right, had it all put together, basically thinking, all right, we're there. And then just flashlight checking everything, I was looking up from underneath and saw that the upper coupler was flattened. I torqued it, twisted it slightly in a way that it was not designed to twist. It does have turns in it that were designed by CZP, but this I had not positioned it properly. So we took it all off again, repositioned that coupler, just tested it, kind of just got it just barely tight, the clamp barely tight. Positioned it, saw that we had what we wanted, pulled it back down, tightened that clamp on the bottom really tight, put it up on the top, clamp, got the hose on fitted nice on the pipe, and then clamped that down tight. Then we came down to the bottom to where the hard pipe connects to the lower side of the radiator, and did that last, which is exactly how I would suggest that you do it. So do that and you'll be happy. Take your time and you'll be happy. Do a good job and you'll be happy. There's no reason to get in a hurry. If you think this is something you're going to slap on in an hour, then you're going to be slapping it on in an hour. That's not how we operate. I don't operate that way. I was always taught by my dad, when you're doing something mechanical on a car, to take your time, be methodical, put your tools back as you use them. So if I use a socket, and say I use a 10mm socket, socket, which imagine that on a Z32. As soon as I'm done using it for whatever purpose I got the socket at, I go put it back in my socket set. And then that's just a really great rule, because then when you go look for your tools, they're exactly what they're supposed to be. So take your time. It took me about 3.5 hours, but that's because there are no instructions. I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to fit in, what kind of perturbations that we would have, which we did have. Just kind of getting under the car, taking the pipe without the couplers, kind of making sure that we're had it the right orientation on the pipe, because it's an L shape, but one of the L legs is shorter than the other one. And that would be the top piece, the piece that goes upright. That's shorter than the L leg that goes across the bottom to the outlet of the radiator. So anyway, got it on, and the thing I really wanted to talk about, so all of that, take your time. The pipe goes on perfectly. You just have to take your time and get it adjusted and get it on there correctly. So shout out to CZP. The couplers are correct. I would have been happier if the lower elbow coupler had just a slight bend in it, but I understand it's a short coupler. That's not an easy thing to engineer, because that would allow the L section of the pipe to kind of be parallel to the steering bar that goes across, and you can zip tie those together, just to make sure that there's no movement. But anyway, great job on the engineering of the pipe. It does work as advertised. It's on there, and hopefully we'll never have to experience a collapsed tube, a lower radiator hose situation, but we're not going to, even if we're in it, because we have a hard aluminum hard pipe down there now. The other thing we did is we are experimenting with VP Racing coolant. I don't know the exact name. I have taken a picture of it, and of course I GoPro'd it, so you'll see that in a clip. We're using Peak antifreeze, which is 50/50 for Asian cars, for Nissan 1990 and newer, which has the phosphate levels that this motor wants. So we are using that. But this it's fairly new. There's a few companies that have it. We went with VP Racing. They're making the bold claim that if you put this bottle, it's about 6 to 8 ounces, I'm not sure exactly, in the radiator, that the engine will run 30 degrees cooler, and the cylinder heads will be 75 degrees cooler. Well, that's a bold claim. I don't know how we're going to prove that, but I can tell you this: we let the car sit there. The instructions say let the car turn on the heater for 10 minutes and let it as hot as it'll go to get the thermostat open, and to get the thermostat open, and to let that coolant additive mix it all throughout your cooling system. And so we did that. Not 1,000% sure, so I'm not the technical guru of the planet on these cars. I'm not 100% sure that we had the heater on. I don't think you can go into climate control auto and turn it up to 90 and heat actually comes out. At least I didn't feel it. But we went to Econ, put the temperature up to 90 until it was blowing hot air out, and left that running for about 15 minutes. So that should have sufficed for the circulation of the additive that the manufacturer VP Racing is suggesting, but we're not sure. We did see that it sat there for 15 minutes in the ambient temperature of at least 90 degrees in the garage, and never got out of the green. It never got over like 100. It might have got up to about 150 degrees, maybe, sitting there idling, not moving in the garage for 15 minutes with that additive in. So that's an appearance, that's an indicator at least. It would have gotten warmer than that on the temperature gauge had we not had that in there. I think if we sat there for 15 minutes and 90 degree temperatures, the Z would have got up to, you know, in the yellow, around 180, maybe hotter. But it stayed cool, and I don't know if that's a result of this additive or not. But over time, we'll do another clip when we feel we have conclusive evidence that 30-degree temperature decrease. It's such a bold claim. It's an unbelievably bold claim. And but anyway, we're going to test the theory. We also have some testing and troubleshooting just to make sure that the auxiliary condenser fan, that we reinstalled recently, we did GoPro of that. We had deleted it when we built the car back in January from the deer accident. People were telling us that live in Phoenix that have these cars don't need it. They've driven for 9 years in Phoenix without it. But we had immediately, even in March time frame, started experiencing some, not overheating to the point where we have an incident, but the car getting hot in really cool external temperatures like 50 degrees. So we didn't believe it. We reinstalled it. We painted it so it looks really cool. The shroud is red, VHT plastic paint, and left the motor and fan black. And so what we're doing is we're going to do some troubleshooting. We found an excellent troubleshooting page this morning. We're just going to make sure that that fan relay for the auxiliary fan is functional. There's neither the fusible link or the 10 amp fuse for it are blown, and that we have a fully